Up until this time, we talked about how a newborn has his behavior and then how the nurture brings out the natural talents of every newborn, because there are a number of cells, 100 billion cells, that connect through the 5 senses with the adult interaction, nurture, with emotional bonding, self-trust, worth and self-esteem, creates pathways for motivation, spatial reasoning, auditory spatial reasoning, visual spatial reasoning, inquiry, curiosity, self-regulation, self-engagement, respecting rules, ability to bond with the strangers in the presence of parents. It's called social emotional learning. Literacy with the linguistic skills, where the infant can express feelings by 18 months. And our goal is to let them speak simple sentences where the basic needs are expressed. Between 18 to 24 months, the creativity that was brought out, the memory that has been fostered, need to be supported. And just because an infant is able to express, run, and engage in gross motor activities like kicking a ball, throwing a ball, and is happy and is reading, or at least reads from memory. Parents are anxious to toilet train between 18 to 24 months. And they make all kinds of sounds, they offer the potty chair, they take pride in training the infant by 18 months that they are well controlled in their urine and fecal control or the bowel movement. These children end up losing control if something tips off the scale where their coping strategies are challenged. Therefore, we need to understand how internal neuromuscular system grows. Just like legs are moving, an infant at 6 months of age or 9 months of age cannot walk right away without support. Similarly, the internal neuromuscular coordination has to allow a process, and this process is feeling something coming down, holding until they can go to a socially acceptable place, and then release the sphincter, and then wipe themselves, flush the toilet, and come out. This intricate balance, believe it or not, is indicated by certain behaviors. An infant suddenly disappears or walks away, comes back, expresses themselves that they are dirty and their diaper need to be changed. If this is consistently, persistently happening, parents can offer a toilet seat where the feet can touch the ground. An adult seat attachment, putting a step stool and having them go try there. If one time they fall inside the toilet seat, they will never want to be potty trained. Please buy a potty chair where feet can touch the ground, and it is like a small chair. They can even have a flush out system available at stores now. A parent can take the infant over to this potty chair, indicate to them that they don't need to hide behind the couches and the curtains, but they can sit with their diapers on this potty chair and to call them once the potty is done. If the infant is able to consistently follow this regimen, then they are ready to go into pull-ups. But trying to force them to, by making a su-su sound, indicate to them to make a bowel movement or to urinate, and being unable to do that frustrates the parent and the child. It is their orifice, they are going to control it. When they are ready to release, they will release. By respecting this, a child can be potty trained when parents back off and give an opportunity for them to self-train for the toilet needs also. It's easily done. Similarly, some kids need a pacifier. Between 18 to 24 months, if they know that the garbage man is eager to take that pacifier, if they throw it into the trash can, and if they don't let them see it for 3 days, Child forgets what they don't see. And this is how you get a cooperation. We have already addressed the temper tantrums because the brain thinks faster than the gross motor coordination can permit them, or their inability to express themselves makes them scream for things. We redirect them with the music, teach them calming down techniques with the nose breathing. This is very well done by belly breathing or nose breathing. There are videos and audios that the parents can follow to learn for themselves and teach it to the kids. With the music and with the belly breathing, kids can calm themselves down. Usually, majority of the times, I call it as a thinking chair. They can go to their thinking chair, they can read a book and breathe while they're reading the book, while I play classical music. The child can calm down, give that 1 to 2 minutes window where the monkey mind doesn't take over. And then we are making connections to the frontal lobe for choice making and to use the discretion and discrimination which we try to instill from birth by changing the music coming from different sides. This often is a tool that works wonders rather than regiment, go to a corner, you got 3 minutes to calm down, and raising the voice, raising the hand. It does not help. We are unleashing the monkey mind, which is more reactive. They may suppress themselves in fear and cooperate, but then they're not doing it out of willfulness. The willfulness comes from giving them opportunity to use their frontal lobe, and that is a good choice making. Reward the good choice with a tangible reward, either a praise or a stamp. Doesn't have to be chocolate, doesn't have to be jelly beans. Off and on I admit that I might have used jelly beans or M&Ms, one of them, when they are able to potty train but are controlling the parents by not going, and this has worked also, but that need to be forgotten once there is a good control on potty training. We can include activities of nasal breathing, infant yoga, baby exercises besides the massage therapies and everything in calming down children, or reading a story that has a positive value. If a child doesn't want to put away the toys, then we can read a story like One Fish, Two Fish, Blue Fish, Red Fish, and talk about the comparison, how fish and we have the same eyes, the mouth, and we have hands that the fish don't have. We can swim with our hands in the water, but we can use the hands for self-help skills like brushing teeth, brushing hair, keeping things in their own place, and eating food, and using legs for good purpose. Through positive stories, we bring a comparison, and this is what educare is all about. Educare is the root word for education. Educare in Latin means extracting the inherent strength. An infant is born with the strength of persistence, perseverance, robust memory, love, sympathy, empathy. A child cries when the mother is crying. This is a natural empathy. Cooperation, willingness to learn, curiosity, inquisitiveness, persistence, and in terms of failure until they attain a skill. We need to foster these, and this cannot happen without a direct adult involvement. When does this fail? When we do not stimulate 2 or 3 senses at the same time. Multisensory integration requires constancy from space and timing at the same time, all the time routine, because they are wired only after we create the structure. When does it fail? If there is domestic violence, maternal depression, lack of involvement, parents offering electronics, TV cartoons, VCR, iPhone, iPads, where there is no direct interaction, there are no kinesthetics, VACT as we call it, visual, auditory, kinesthetics and touch. That's one of the reasons while teaching alphabets, I do emphasize upon feeling an orange, learning how the letter O looks rather than talking about octopus. They touch the orange and they say ah. Every letter has a sound. O says ah. But musically, every letter has a sound. A says a, B says ba, C says ka. So we give an apple, we give a book, we give a cup, and they're learning vocabulary. 1, 2, buckle my shoe, and show number 1 and number 2. They can learn and say, do we have 2 hands? Do we have 2 eyes? But we have 1 nose, 1 head, 1 heart, 1 tummy. And this is how children learn, and through singing head, ears, nose, eyes, mouth, chin. So they learn parts of the body. This is called rhyming, which is called fatherese, motherese, grandmotherese, parentese. That's what makes them learn. Music does more wonders. Music gives positive emotions. Music can give sad emotions. Music can give peace emotions. Music can give happy emotions. Gross motor skills are very important. While we started off with tummy times, bicycling exercises, then we offered blocks, and we offered puzzles, we offered abacus, we offered rolling a ball to kicking a ball, throwing a ball, walking behind a cart rather than giving a walker, pushing the cart and walking behind it teaches a lot of skills. And being barefooted, touch therapy is very important. Maternal touch releases that oxytocin that causes them to calm down. And oxytocin prevents the stress hormones. And that is very important. That's what we are accomplishing by doing baby yoga, from infant yoga to breathing exercises with the toddlers at 2 years of age. Go sit there on the steps or on your thinking chair. Start breathing while the music is playing. You can close your eyes and think about the nice things you love, the flowers we have seen, the garden we have gone to, and this is what is going to calm them down. The expression increases, communication increases when they have a choice. We are giving them a choice to express their feelings. Let me tell you how sensory integration fails when there has been drugs and alcohol consumption and drugs by the parent. I can give you a case where I worked with a couple, father a music teacher, mother a special education teacher, did not have children after 20 years of marriage. After they hit their 40th year, they decided to adopt a very needy child and to give them a good Christian home through the services and agency. They took a child who was born to a drug addict teen mom who had this child as a result of incest, and to forgive herself, she has taken alcohol to drugs and different relationships and never happy. She was in institutions, and they did not come to me until the child hit 2.5 years of age. He was not looking at people. He was not talking, self-stimulating by banging his head on the floor with the temper tantrums. Not having their own child and not having children to be raised before, they were clueless, and because I worked with the sensory integration, they came to me, and I had to teach them all about the brain, the nurture, the music therapy, the touch therapy, lack of electronics. Father was a music teacher, and so he did play piano and the violin, and the mother did do a lot of hands-on activities, floor time and face time. And he came out of this impulsivity, the hyperactive behavior. They determined that because the mother did alcohol and she was bipolar as per the diagnosis, not knowing the past history, they decided it was genes, and they were very sorry they adopted this child. But they were very happy. A year and a half later, that child was communicating, self-controlling, was learning alphabets and the numbers, and has come around. He did get some speech therapy, occupational physical therapy through the school systems. Then at 16 years of age, after being mainstreamed in the school, his anger and lack of focus started again. He was in high school, he was straight A and B honor roll student, musically talented, a good sportsman, well-rounded figure. I found out because of my inquiry and reading recently the article of Lin Zhao and Yin from University of China, how electronic gaming is eating away the frontal lobe. I showed them the scans and I showed them the literature and had him stop electronic gaming. He is now graduating from high school. He does want to go to A&M college, and he's a very healthy, holistic individual with a good character because he wants to sustain this body for helping others and helping the community. Another case where the domestic influence causes toxic stress, how we miss the boat because we are only looking at the symptoms. A 4.5-year-old Russian adoptee brought by a father who is from United States because he was wetting his bed after 2.5 years of remaining dry at night time. And my other colleague started him on imipramine, which is abandoned actually by FDA because it has caused cardiac arrest in one patient. And I stopped that and I sat with the family and inquired. The parents got recently separated 6 months ago because of maternal alcohol problem. They had custodial rights. This is where the judges have to know the true picture behind certain symptoms. There was a custodial fight, and so the child was spending 2 weeks with the mom, 2 weeks with the father. While this 4.5-year-old was with the mother, he saw many times that she was inebriated under alcohol. And one time she was so lost that he got so confused, he called 911 when she was so out of state. And she was taken by ambulance and the child was taken by CPS, and that was a trauma for the child. This trauma caused him to regress with the bedwetting. I couldn't have fixed him with the medicines. I couldn't have fixed him just with the behavior modification. In both these cases, I taught parents yoga, meditation, positive thinking, positive stories like I talk about one fish, two fish, blue fish, red fish stories, and bring about the life application of positive thinking. And yoga, baby yoga, meditation, breathing exercises, sports, activities, all these swimming and martial arts has helped this child. He doesn't bedwet anymore. This is where we as providers have to look beyond the behavior scales to look at what is causing the problem. The trauma, child neglect, toxicity and toxic stress is the underlying factor for majority of the physical illnesses. I see this with the eating disorders, I see this with obesity, secondary to engagement with electronics. I see diabetes, type 2, acanthosis nigricans, when all these are missed 0 to 3 years. Again, I hope parents will take it to their heart with these examples. These are not the only 2 anecdotal examples. I have hundreds of them, thousands of them that have been cured. So please take it to heart and use the nurture. My book is available on Amazon, and there will be a soft copy that is available for downloading. Thank you so much.